What lowers stress for women? The whole other side of this message. This is where the new research came in. Oxytocin. Most women haven't even heard this term except for childbirth. You get shots of Pitocin to speed up the contractions so your doctor can go back to playing golf. Which, by the way, if ever possible, I suggest you don't use Pitocin. It's shown that with Pitocin, children's brains get squeezed a lot more. They're not natural contractions. When they give you synthetic Pitocin, your contractions will be more intense and more sudden. A natural contraction takes slower, builds up, and slowly releases. That may have something to do with the massive amount of ADD symptoms today as well. We can certainly overcome these things. I've seen the ability to overcome them, but we have to realize when we introduce these unnatural elements to our life, it's going to have impact. And what we see today is a major impact, where 1 out of 3 Americans is considered to take some kind of psychotropic, psychological aid to help them cope with life. This is extreme. This is off the chart, and it's only getting worse. We have to find solutions for this. When we come to solutions, there's no more powerful solution than a happy relationship. And for children to grow up in a happy family where mommy and daddy are loving each other. And if they can't be staying together and love each other, then mommy and daddy are separate, but loving each other in equal time the child has with daddy and with mommy, and with all commitment to respect each other and honor each other. And so many times after I wrote Men Are From Mars, Women Are From Venus over 20 years ago, to this day, 20 years later, wherever I go in an airport, which is every week, I go somewhere, I give 100 talks a year, 2 talks a week. I travel somewhere, every time in the airport, somebody comes up to me and says, "We were divorced. We read your book, and now we're happily married." That was shocking to me. It still is surprising to me. People say, "I hope you don't mind, but I have to tell you," when they have a story like that, they think they're the only one, because what I found is not every divorce can be saved, but so many times people get divorced because they think we're just too different. And really what they're saying is, my partner doesn't make sense to me. I wish we could make it work. We can't. And what I do, my passion, my life, my message is helping us make sense of the problem, and then within ourselves we can solve it. We have the capacity to do it. People have done it for centuries. It's just suddenly a new circumstance has arisen. Our stress levels have dramatically increased. And women's response to stress is so different from men's, so it's exaggerated. And when these differences are exaggerated, they really don't make sense. Like, we've got people coming over for a party, and my husband's sitting on the couch watching the news. Doesn't he get it? And my wife comes over to me and says, "Honey, we got to clean up. We got guests coming over." I said, "Oh, don't worry about it, honey. They're our friends. They understand." That's a man with no dopamine, so I have no motivation to do anything, but plenty of serotonin. Men don't run out of serotonin like women do. So serotonin says everything's fine. So I'll do whatever it takes to rationalize sitting on that couch and doing nothing. So then she says, no, it's not our friends. It's the new neighbors. We have to clean up. And I say, well, I don't even know if I like them. So why should I clean up for them? So it's called rationalization. They will rationalize anything to sit on that couch. No big deal, no problem, don't worry about it. My need comes first. And women, you're not any different. You just have a different need. Her need is to feel that her house is clean and beautiful. And what are other people going to think of her? Because when women are under stress, and this is what we see happening to little girls, when they're not making enough serotonin, you don't feel you have enough support in your life. If you're female and you don't feel you have enough support, what you do is you try harder to get it. So you become a super people pleaser, which in terms of statistics, it looks good on paper, because now what you have is all the girls as super achievers in school, wanting to please their parents and wanting to please their teachers, wanting to do whatever it takes to please, and yet having huge aspects of a body image, body problems, self-esteem problems, anxiety neurosis, not sleeping at night, feeling overwhelmed, feeling depressed, huge antidepressant use for females. But they're scoring well on all the tests. 60% of college graduates are now women. They have to lower the standards for men to get into college. Only 40% of high school graduates are males, 60% of females. 90% of learning difficulties in schools are boys. It's all about this low dopamine level happening.